Hey guys, this is J-Doctor. Today I'm showing you an update to my Custom Structures Generator Datapack. I've added a couple new features, and in this video I'm going to show you the couple things I added. The first thing I'm going to show you is this new feature which will allow you to set a specific level or a specific height for your structure to spawn at. So if you want them to just spawn in the sky, but at kind of random levels, not just all at level 200 or whatever, you want it to be just in the sky, but at a certain random range, I've added that feature. Or underground, or mid-ground, or whatever. But it's just a way to give you a custom range. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So as an example, I'm going to use this floating island structure. If you want to know how to use this data pack and make your own structures spawn throughout your world, check out the last video I posted, and it will have all the details on how to create these structures, but this is just going to show the new features. So I have this little floating island I made. I saved the structure as a floating island, and then tested the position with a load block. And so let's show how I can get this to spawn in the sky. So again, you'll have to download the .zip file that's in the description, also in the description of the other video. But this is a new update. You'll see this is version 1.1.0. The other version didn't really have a number, but I'm going to start keeping track of version numbers in case I add updates and stuff. So you're going to want to unzip this file, and then once you've unzipped it, you can go into this folder, and it'll have all of these things again. So now I'm also keeping track of changelogs, so it'll list all of the bugs and changes and everything in this update, so you can keep track. Then we have the manual that will explain everything, or you can watch the video. But for now, for this tutorial, we just need the structure pack base and the structure generator. So again, we have the generator, which we don't need to actually mess with. It's just in the world. Then we're going to take our structure pack base and make it a floating island. I'm going to add my structure to this island pack using the steps that I show in the last video. So if you want to know how all this works, check that out. But I'll kind of briefly go over it. So I'm going to go into my world, grab the structure, which was floating island, and we're going to come into the floating island pack and put it in the structures folder. So that's our NBT. So I'm going to just quickly show, we have the functions and loot tables from last time. There's now a new folder called Y-range, which I will show in a minute. Same in the loot tables here. So we start with generate, so we're going to add our structure to the pack. So we copy these, put in these, get rid of the hashtags. We have to come up with a unique number for our structure. I'm going to go 7, just so I can keep track. You can do whatever number. I'm just using 7 because 7. And then we add the position numbers, which I got earlier. Position X was -7. Position Y was -6. Position Z was -6. And then the structure name was floating island. Isnald. Island. There we go. So I'm going to save that. Then loot tables, structure type. We can use that other template or just straight copy this and put in our number, which was 7. Then you can change like the spawn rates. I'm just going to keep it half and half so we can see if it's working. Alright, so now we have it in the pack and it will spawn on the surface of the ground. But we want to spawn in the sky kind of at random heights. So that's what the new Y range is for. So the first thing you're going to actually want to do is in the structure types folder, or in the structure types file where you specify the structure, what you're going to want to do is first you're going to want to take out the if block is Minecraft surface, because we don't want it to spawn on the surface. So you have to tell it not to look for the ground. And then you can actually see up here it says to give it a Y level range, add the tag Y range to the selector. So if we copy this, we want to put it in between these square brackets here, like this. This will tell the commands to run the second part of the function, which I will show you right now. So I'm going to save this. So now we've told it to use the Y-range functions, which is going to be in the Y-range functions. So we're going to come into Y-range, and again, we have structure types end, nether, and overworld. We're going to come into structure types overworld, and then we have more commands to copy. So if you want your structure to spawn at a certain Y range, you want to do this extra step. So I'm going to copy these commands here, and then we're going to remove the hashtags. So then we're going to put in our structure ID again, which is 7. Whoops. So once we've put that in, the only other thing we need to change is now we've linked 7 to our Y-range function. Using the tag, it will then use this function to run it. But then we have in this command where it says loot spawn structures Y-range, it says loot table here. This is where we're going to want to put a loot table. Now, I'm going to save this file and jump over to the loot tables to show you the next part. So if we go into loot tables, we have the structure type for our for making our structure spawn, but then Y-range is the next thing we have. So in here we have sky, custom, or underground. So I'll kind of explain what this does. I'm going to go into like underground, for example. We have a minimum and a maximum. So we're using a item count to have a range of numbers. So the minimum is 10 and the maximum is 40. What it's going to do is the structure types MC function for the Y range is going to look at this loot table and pick a number between 10 and 40, and that's going to be the Y level. So it could spawn at Y level 20, or it could spawn at Y level 10, or anywhere in between, or any of that. So we want to tell it what loot table to use. So we have one set for underground, and we have a sky one, which is from 100 to 230. But if you have a specific, like you want to go all the way to build height, or like you have an idea that's not sky or underground, you can come into custom, and it has like, you put the numbers here, or you can edit the other ones or whatever. You can copy this, but you just want to set a minimum and maximum number in these loot tables. So what you want to do is in the Y-range function, you want to specify what loot table you're using. So I'm going to do the sky one. So it's the Y-range folder and sky. But then you can like make your own like floating island or whatever, and like you change the numbers. But I'm just going to use sky because there's a preset in there. So we save that. So now it's going to use the sky loot table, which is in here. But if you wanted to like use a custom one, you could copy this one, like floating island, say, and then put your numbers in here, like I want to spawn it from 90 all the way to build height or something, or build height or whatever. I'm just going to use the sky one, but it's just, you can customize it however you want. So that's all you have to do in order to add this extra feature. You just want to make sure to have in your structure types.mc function where you add the structures, you just want to add the tag Y-range, like only do it if they have the tag Y-range, and you want to get rid of the if block surface. Something I didn't quite mention, I kind of touched on it in the last video, is you can put whatever like criteria in here you want to like change the conditions of your spawning. So like if you want your structure to only spawn on sand, you can go only if block like below it is sand, and it'll only spawn in sand. Or like if block underneath it is like if 20 blocks down there's cave air, you can do that to like say like only if there is a cave underneath or whatever. You can customize that whatever you want, but if you have a certain Y range in mind, you're going to want to remove that. and just have the Y range right there. So you want to make sure you have the Y range tag, and then just in the separate file, you just want to specify which structure ID and what loot table it's using. And that's all you got to do. So then you can take your floating island pack and your structure generator, and you can put them in your Minecraft world. So now I've installed it in the world, and I'll hit reload, and you can see it's also updated to show the number. I should probably fix that before I release it. It's kind of clipping off, but we have the same thing. So we can go function, generator settings. I'm going to hit abundant just so we can see them all over the place. And then we can hit generate. And I think, oh yep, already there's floating islands all up in the sky. They are spawning very frequently. And I caused the structure to have like water dripping, and it is lagging badly. Alright, I'm going to function generator. Oh wait, the settings are right there. I'm going to set it back to common, and I'm going to make the clock slower so we have less things. So now you can see they are spawning at random levels, and this actually looks really cool. They're spawning at Y levels from between like 100 or whatever to like 200, and they're just all over the place. And if you went higher, you'd probably find more. So that's a new feature. You can make new structures spawn underground if you wanted to, or whatever. So that's that new feature. So the other thing I wanted to show you is this update also has a new command, a new in-game command, which is /generator debug. And turning this on will, once you move around, it will kind of give you stats on like what is currently trying to spawn. So it's currently trying to spawn number 1, which is blank. But it's telling you off to the side, it also lists like the entities that are trying to be spawned, because every structure starts as an armor stand and tries to place one down. But you can see once it's actually spawned a structure, it will also pop up a message in your chat so you know, oh, there's one that spawned. Oh, and there's another one that spawned. So it'll actually tell you what structures have just spawned in chat if debug mode is on, so you can tell if they're spawning frequently enough. It's just an easier way to tell if what you want to happen is actually happening, because sometimes it can be tricky to see if your structures are actually spawning. And then you can just hit generator debug again, and it'll turn it off, and you can keep going. And there is a redstone block right there. I can quickly tell you how to fix this if like you've come across this. If you see like a redstone block that's still here, or a structure block or something, the reason that's happening is because when it spawns the structure, it's trying to spawn the structure right where the structure block and redstone block actually was already, so that it kind of overrides it, but sometimes it won't be quite in the right place. So all you need to do to like make sure that the redstone block doesn't show up is like tweak the position in the position function to like so like I would change it to like one more block this way so that the redstone block doesn't actually show up. So yeah, that's why you don't want it to just like have the structure block in the corner when you're scanning it. You want it to be like in the middle or something so that the structure will override it. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is for this little video. Just a little update on my generator. There's also some bug fixes in this update. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to show you. So thanks for watching, and enjoy making your own structures. See you next time. Bye.